I got a video about interviewing a couple of people in Houston about the um, the troubles that I guess people who are not rich are dealing with. So let's check this out.
You're watching the Isaiah Factor Uncensored.
And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored, and thank you for sticking around for our second half hour. Prices are still climbing everywhere, but paychecks are staying the damn same. How are young people keeping up? One young woman went viral, clearly stressed out about her finances.
I'm stressed out. I'm stressed. We should not be working like this. I work my ass off and I can't even pay bills, bro. And they always say don't compare yourself to others, but I see people going to Coachella and like buying all types of this pointless money, and I'm over here can't even pay my rent, bro.
Well, you get what she was saying. A new study also reveals a harsh reality. 65% of Americans say their paychecks just can't keep up with inflation. Joining us to talk about it tonight, podcast host Lance Bledsoe, realtor Joseph Irvin, entrepreneur Bree Fleming, and influencer Jasmine LaCour. So, Jasmine, I mean, when you see this young lady crying, and I can feel it, you laughing, Jasmine. What's wrong with you, Jasmine?
Because
It's the audio in the background.
it's the music in the background.
music.
It's her crashing out. I want to say like sis, go.
Man, she's scary looking, but that makeup across the eyes. Well, she got makeup all over, but she's scary looking.
Get a therapist because that is a crazy crash out to be on social media, embarrassing.
But
and
can
stuff
you
like that.
see how somebody can get that way, constantly
Absolutely.
working and never making ends meet?
Absolutely, because for me as an influencer, I'm an entrepreneur. Then I have to have my school and my salon space. So with me, I write my own check, so I get it. But again, because I write my own checks, I'm like, girl, it's time to get more than one stream of income. You can't just rely on that one check nowadays with this economy. You have to have multiple ways to make income inside of your household to make things flourish, and for you to not crash out like that on social media and embarrass yourself in front of your friends and family. I hope she gets some help.
And Joe, you can recall a day when
She needs some money. That's what she need to do. She needs to. I mean, I don't know what she do by the look of the one that was yelling and stuff in the video. I mean, she looked like she probably worked like at a grocery store. You know what I mean? She don't. The way she looks, she don't look like she work at no. Well, obviously she not working at a high paying job, but just as far as her job, she probably working like at. You know what I mean? Like I don't even know, like the airport or at a grocery store. She working somewhere like there, like somewhere like that. Like she ain't making $800 a week, that's for sure, wherever she working.
many of our parents, all they had to do was work one job.
Yeah.
Those days are long gone for many people now. I mean, it was a time, you wasn't born then, but where it could be just dad going to work and mom and the kids stay home, and those days are gone.
I still remember seeing my parents' budget at the table. Like I would be sitting on the couch watching cartoons and then watching them, like, kind of just have their, conversations about it. I would say right now what you were alluding to is diversifying your funds. I mean, where we're at, a lot of times people say like, oh, get that good job out of school, but then often people just stick with that. They work in those jobs 10, 20 years, you're sitting there and those companies are talking about their financials. Sometimes it comes a point to where you have to ask yourself, am I just gonna work at this job and climb the corporate ladder for what somebody else sees as like fit? Or do I even fit like, that narrative? 3 weeks ago, I quit my corporate job. I was making right above like 6 figures. I mean, to me, when you
Yeah, what he's saying, I mean, that's right. I mean, you got a lot of companies out here, but very few of them are actually legit companies where I understand right now everybody's gonna be able to climb that. If anything, you get your raises, you get good raises, you'll be good to go. But I know I talked to a lot of guys in tech, and they always told me, if you get into this industry, you have to job hop because that's the fastest way you'll get to 6 figures. You have to job hop. I'm like, all right. So me doing the research stuff like that, I realized, okay, yeah, that's what you have to do in order for you to get that to get to the six figures. You know what I mean? And just watching videos of people who's been in one position, they just keep you in that position. That's it. They just forget about you because there's so many people that they, they come through the industry all the time. Well, that particular field, and it's always like something going on, I guess, if that makes sense. But they'll, you get put in that spot, whatever the position is, they'll just, they'll just forget about you. You just keep working that position, and time go by, and that's it. So, but if you want to crack the six figures, you have to job hop. So they always told me about a third job, you'll be at six figures. So you go in there new, get your year experience, maybe two max, and after that you got to move around. That's the quickest way you can get your raise. And then when they get raises, excuse me, we're not talking about no $2-3. Now we're talking about thousands of dollars. When I say $1,000, you'll go in there making $65,000, and if you job hop, your next job will give you have a $20,000 pay increase. So that's what I'm talking about. It's major compared to you working at that company. They tend to won't really give you a raise. I mean, they probably. I know they'll give you a raise, but it won't be like that. It won't be on that level. So that's why you had the job hop. So then at that time, it was so many companies. It's so many companies now, but when it was new, when they was trying to get everything figured out before AI came, basically, you had so many options to go find you another job that'll pay you $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 more. So by the time you get to your third job, you're already over, you're already 120, 120, 130, 120, $130,000. So then from there you can just figure out what you want to do after that. But yeah, I heard stories about guys, they was in the tech field, that's what they got majority of money in, and then they use that money to invest to their own business. So, but yeah, at the time, that was the fastest way to get to six figures. So, but it's not like that anymore.
In Houston, that's not doing anything for you.
So that wasn't a...
Whoa. That man said six. And that's why, me, I'm a tell you. So, I mean, obviously where he was working, they don't tell you exactly what they doing. They just, but obviously where he was working, he wasn't making 200K. You know what I mean? So when you say six figures, I'm being realistic, not trying to shame nobody. He was making like 115, 110. And remember, that's before taxes. So after taxes, you under 100K. So he not making 100K after taxes. So he only bringing in like whatever he bringing in, but whatever whatever his yearly income is, it's like it's low it's low 100,000. It's like 115, 110, something like that. Because after taxes, it's under 90K. But I'm gonna say this right now. If you living in Texas in general, no matter where you're living in Texas, I think they say Dallas is very expensive now, but wherever you living in Texas, if you clearing, like I tell you all the time, they say, oh, I make six figures. How much, bro? Like, that's why I hate when they do that. That's how you know they're not making a lot. I mean, it's a lot, but that's how you know they're not making like more than 130. Oh, I'm making six figures. Bro, how much, bro? Just put a number on it. God damn, you ain't got to sit there and be like, oh, so you're not making, your net is not six figures. Your gross is six figures, but not your net. So anyway, if you live anywhere in Texas, if you net in six figures, or if you in 80,000 and up, you can literally live anywhere. You living comfortable. I promise you. Especially if it's just you. I mean, I wouldn't do this, but you got your rent, a car note. It's either or, bro. Don't have both. But whatever. You still can afford it. You can get you a nice house, $300,000 house. You can get you a nice car. You get your closet is full of clothes and shoes and accessories. You can go eat somewhere nice. You can go to any concert you want to. That's a lot of money. So for him to say that, he just tripping. He said tripping. So that also let me know that he want. I tell you guys all the time, there's a lot of people that want to fake it. They want to pretend to be like they got it instead of actually, having it. So he want to look the part. Oh yeah, he probably want to look like he a millionaire, or something like that, or super high earners. But he don't make that much. But so he mad that he not making hundreds of $1,000s a year for this company. But that's typically what it is. So for him to say that, and he in Houston, Texas, and act like that's not a lot of money, he living outside his means. He's that dude that got that penthouse is like $6,000 a month, and he want a brand new ass BMW X7 or whatever that little that crossover is. He wants something like he want to just live above his means. So I guarantee you, me living in a small town right now, if I'm clearing, because he's not clearing, but if I'm clearing the low six figures, 120, if I'm bringing home 120, 115, whatever a year, oh man, I'm living high on the hog. That's a fact. I'm gonna have me a couple of nice cars. I mean, I ain't gonna have no Lamborghini. I mean, I can get one, but nah, I'm not doing that. I have me 2 cars paid off. I have me a house. I'll pay it off within 4 years. 5 the max, and that's it. You know what I mean? My closet gonna be full of clothes and shoes. I'm going fine dining. I'm going to any event I want to, and I'm always have money in my pocket because that's a lot of money. So for you to, say, oh, that's not that was nothing. That you can't survive off that in Houston. He must not be from Houston, Texas, or whatever. I'm pretty sure he's not from here. But at the end of the day, he just living outside his means because it's only so many places you can live, L.A. and New York, for you to be like, that's not a lot of money. So even though he's not making, he's making 6 figures, but he not clearing it. He probably bringing like 87,000. You know what I mean? So that's something like that he probably bringing on, even though that's still a lot of money. But for you to say that's not a lot of money in Houston, and I know for a fact that Houston is not a expensive city. It's so many places you can live, based off your income. But yeah, he just said tripping on that. He just living outside his means.
Enough for you?
No, and that's going to be different for a lot of people. Some people,
Nah.
50, 60, 70, you can live off of that. Other people, 200, 300, it just depends. For me, I know what I want for my life, so I stepped away from my corporate job. I learned what I did.
That's right, Joe.
And I'm going full-time real estate. As soon as I got my license, I hit the ground running.
Oh my God. These people thinking stuff be easy, bro. God dang. You gotta, if anything, you're a real estate, you gotta work even harder than whatever job he was doing. That's the thing too. They don't be want to get into detail about what they do. So I'm like, well, what they did is he obviously quit his job. But this is the thing about real estate. You can still work a full-time job and do real estate. So for him to quit his job and pursue real estate full-time, of course you're going to do it full-time because you ain't got no income. So if you had an income, you could do it part-time. But since you were stupid enough and quit your job to do this, now you got to do it full-time. So anything you get into, you got to do full-time because you don't have a steady stream of income. So that was silly for him to do that. But obviously he quit because he was upset about the owners or the higher-ups that was making all this money, and he wanted a piece of that. So at some point he probably could have got to that level. I don't know, but for you to quit, a good paying job like that just to pursue something like real estate is a terrible idea. Again, I'm not a financial advisor by any means, but that's a silly thing to do. Never do that, especially if you're making that kind of money. Like, I know he's not making 6 figures. I know he bringing in high 80,000s. He something like that. I'm gonna take his word for it. I hope he not lying on the set, but you don't do that. You can do all the stuff you need to do in real estate and work a full-time job. Now I'm pretty sure he say he working corporate, so they work the typical 9 to 5. So after that, then you can show houses or whatever like that, or just do it on a weekend. Cause you do something like that when you got a steady stream of income. You'll never quit, especially a job on that level, and then start something brand new. Like bro. Like, do that on the side, the real estate. And then when you start building up your clientele, you start selling houses and getting your commissions, then you can think about quitting your job. I'm going to say this right now. If it's not affecting your job, don't quit it. If you got a side hustle or another business going on and it's not interfering with your job, don't quit your job. Now, of course, if you hate your job and all this like that, that's different. If you ain't getting paid crap, you got nothing to lose. But I'm saying, like, somebody on, as far as how much he was making, if it's not interfering with your job, your real estate, you want to pursue real estate, just keep your job, homie. Like, that's a lot of money to just walk away from. So keep working your job, pursue the real estate, and then, if anything, if you're just making a lot of money, then it's really up to you. I mean, obviously you want to make more than what you're making at your job, which you can make a lot of money in real estate, but it's not easy, bro. You got to hustle. You got to advertise. You got to build your clientele. You got to find. It's a lot of stuff too. I don't know why people just want to jump into real estate. It's like, oh, I'm gonna be a YouTuber. I'm gonna quit my job, bitch. Keep working your job, bro. Like, keep working your job, and then, even though YouTube would never be the same ever again because the gold rush was in the early 2000s, but you get like Mr. Beast or something like that, then yeah, you quit your job. But don't just quit your job. And so YouTube, you can do both, you idiot. So somebody like him, he can do both, but he quit his job and whatever because he mad because them dudes above him making all this money. He want to live their lifestyle and he not there. So at the end of the day, he quit his job because he was jealous. That's all it was at the end of the day. So you could have simply just did your real estate while you had your full-time job. That, you know what I mean? Like and it get to the point where you make it more, you know, in your real estate job than from your actual job. And if you're still salty about it, then you can quit. But if not, just keep doing both. I don't know, these people be acting weird. These people are weird. They're weird, bro.
And Bree, how do you feel about that? You looking both ways now.
It's interesting because first of all, I'm also a real estate investor, so I own 4 properties. I also have an app with 35 million influencers on it, so I understand all sides, right? I also do want to say, because we're on TV, that 6 figures is enough to live in Houston by stats, though. Now, not by you, but
because he wanna live that rich life. He living outside his means, but she telling it like it is. Like, bro, if you in Houston, you got that kind of money, you making that kind of money, you living good, bro. You get your nice, you know, Porsche, you know, you get your nice BMW. You know what I mean? Like, he want to make $500,000 a year. You know, he on that shit right there, which you can do. Nothing wrong with that, but it's like, bro, you said tripping. Like, you literally be balling out of control with that kind of money in that city. So just dumb. He just dumb.
Let's take it back
but
to
I did hold on though.
Yeah.
I did say
clearance.
I know that's right. But I did also say at the same time though, like 50, 60, 70. Like I'm not.
I understand. Let me just finish my point. So my point is that that's for you though.
Yes.
But just talking about, you know, the point of the combo, we need to get back to the budgeting part. Like let's get back to, you don't need to be living above your means. You know what I'm saying?
True,
a lot of this. Let's get to the real problem, right?
You see how all 3 of them, because that's what it was. It was a dead giveaway. Like, bro, you just told everybody you living above your means, so nobody gonna feel sorry for you. And for you to just leave that kind of, you're not working at Starbucks, homie. Like, if you making 65,000, that's okay. But if you making 85 and up a year, nah, man, you winning.
You know, a lot of people are, and I'm coming from the point, there's 35 million influencers on my app. 90% of them are living a fake life. You know, so I have to be honest that, you know, a lot of people are living above their means to get the next brand deal. They want the nice bathroom because they want some nice, you know, content. They also want to impress other people that don't even matter, to be honest. Like, we live in this world of instant gratification. People don't want to do the work anymore. People don't want to get a skill. People don't want to go to school anymore, which is fine. You know, but you don't even have to go to school for a degree anymore. You know, you can go for different things. I still educate myself, and I'm a whole CEO of a VC-backed platform. People don't want to do the slow work anymore. People don't want to be bored. You know, so I think we're in a time where you can make the money. The times are always going to be tough. You know what I'm saying? But y'all got to get back to making business.
85,000, the minimum. I know that's how much you was bringing after taxes. And you threw that away because you were salty. Nah. Man, I'm going to a sporting event every week. I'm trying out new restaurants every week. I'm not doing it every day, but I'm going to Whole Foods. You know what I mean? I'm going to the actual to the cattle ranch. I'm going to him, hey man, give me this whole cow, chop it up real quick. I don't know, man. It's not really much. I mean, at the end of the day, it's only so much you can buy, but you know, the only thing that really matters is the experience. So going to plays, operas, you know, and then start something on the side. Just threw it all the way, man.
Applying for grants, like just really doing the work, but people just want a handout, and that's the problem.
Let's hear from Lance really quick.
Man, she pretty much took all the words out my mouth. Pretty much like she said, like, we got to go back to living in our means. Like how she said, the reason why she was crying and crashing out, because the main thing she said, she looking on social media, comparing herself to everybody else.
Comparison is the thief of joy.
So why are you looking at comparing yourself to everybody else? Because you look at what somebody else is doing. So you probably could, like he said, he was making 6 figures, and I ain't gonna lie, if I was making 6 figures, I would be perfectly good.
There you go, bro. That's the thing. Like you finding a way to sabotage your life. And I tell you guys before, man, it's people out here that can't handle success. So again, if you clearing 80, if you making after everything is said and done, if you making $85,000 after everything is said and done, and you are not happy, there's people that's happy with way less. So for you to make that much, and of course he not working 12s. You're not working 12s, and you literally got all this extra free time. You got a lifestyle that everybody want. You working 8 hours, maybe you do a little overtime every now and then, but every day you working 8 hours, Monday through Friday. You got the weekends off. You getting raises, bonuses. You got holiday pay, vacation, 401. You got the whole nine. I know he do. Well, he did, and you found a way to throw that away. It's like, you know how much money that is. Like I told you guys before, we're not talking about LA. We're not talking about New York. We're talking about regular old cities, bro. That's a lot of money, man. You can get a lot done with that. That's you at the level to where you have plenty of money to save. You making 85,000. You can live off 40. So with that 40, you got the other 45,000 to the actual save, to put in some kind of 401k that they keep talking about or whatever like that. You got money to fund your what is it, your hobby. You probably got a hobby to where you like making apps or something like that, or whatever. You know what I mean? Like you can do stuff with that. You know what I mean? You can use some of that money out to 45 to invest into yourself, as far as like, okay, I want to start a business or whatever. You got plenty of money to do that, and you got money to save. And you threw that away. It's like you making two salaries, well, two incomes. No one person make $35,000 to $40,000 a year. So you automatically ahead of people, because it's gonna take 2 years to make that, and you make it in 1 year. So you have two people incomes a year, and you found a way to mess that up. So now everybody putting them on blast, and he don't care because he want to live outside his means. So.
We'll let you guys finish in just a second. We'll be right back after this break. They'll continue their conversation.
Reaching for the dream, calling out my name.
And welcome back to The Factor. Tonight, we're exploring how young generations are surviving this economy. A new report confirms paychecks are failing to match rising prices. Our guests are back for the discussion. So, Lance, how do you survive?
I feel like now, like in today's day and age, especially like the economy, like you definitely got to have like multiple sources of income. Like whatever it is, whether it's a side hustle, investing in stocks, trades, or whatever you got to do to make extra money, you got to do that in today's day and age. Everything's so expensive now. Like gas is expensive. Like clothes, just for everything now, like cost of rent, everything now is super expensive. You can't just live off just one source of income and just have a job and expecting for you to just pay your bills and just still be able to do stuff that you want to do or buy stuff that you need or want. Like,
see, that's the thing too. I mean, I understand, with the new apartments now, they want to charge you 15 and up, but the thing about those apartments, and especially in the big city like Houston, you have so many apartments throughout the whole city. You can negotiate, and if they don't want to negotiate with you as far as the rent price, you can easily find another apartment in your price. The problem is you have a lot of people that want to stay in these high rises. That's the thing now. And they paying, $1,500, $1,800 a month, but it's like you're not even making it in a week. You're supposed to make that in a week. So you're living outside your means. And on top of that, a lot of people that don't qualify for those apartments, but the reason why they're in there, because the people that's, the managers and stuff like that, they get bonuses and they get, they get incentives to fill those apartments, and they don't care. They're like, okay, well, if it don't work out, we'll just kick them out. But they get, incentives for, getting these tenants in there. And then what the tenants do, they're like, okay, well, I can't afford it, but I really want to stay. I really want to stay here, even though the apartment's fucking 500 square feet. They'll just use, either they get paid every week or every 2 weeks, but they'll use, 3-day checks, so they'll use both. It's real. They have some females that use, and mostly it's females too. Mostly females who do stuff like this, but they'll use 3-day checks, or they get paid every 2 weeks. They use both of their checks to pay the rent, and then the rest they just struggling. So now you get the little payday loan, you get the little the zip, the buy now pay later. A lot of them be on that. So because all their money went to their rent, and then they got a car. The car be raggedy as hell. They don't have a car. You know what I mean? So that's what it is. Like a lot of them will put themselves in that financial strain because they staying in some apartment downtown. It's like, nah, it ain't even worth it. Like, or if it ain't gotta be downtown, it's just some some upscale apartment. They think that, okay, well, this how much the rent is in Houston. No, it's not. You got a shitload of apartments, a lot of apartments in that city. So they just don't do the research. And on top of that, they just wanna follow, that trend or whatever it is, even if it is a trend. But a lot of them, especially if you see a female in them, them high rises or whatever like that, she either stripping, which also, means she prostituting, or she just using all her money that she do get just to pay her rent. Because a lot of them females that stay in them apartments, they don't have no decent paying job. When I mean decent, like 65 and up. Now most of them be making 35, 40,000. Like I said, they just use majority of they rent, they money they get every month on their rent, and then they might have a check left, but they probably got to pay a car note because they don't know how to manage their money well, so they got to pay a car note. They don't have no insurance. If they do, it's liability, and they'll pay that sometimes. And then they don't have any money. They don't even have any money to eat. So that's why they always want to be out in the club all the time. Because now I heard they got to pay, but they can go get inside the club for free. They got to pay for parking, but they'll do some shady shit with the parking, and they always out there begging men for money, or demanding men for their money because that's all they have. If they can't get that drink or something to eat from that stranger, then they go back home to an empty apartment with no food in the fridge. So that's very common. So especially if they're young, I tell you guys all the time, she can't even pronounce 3 words correctly. She sounds like she got a reading level of a 3rd grader. Nah, she can't afford to be in that apartment. They probably working at fucking Chick-fil-A or some shit like that. Like, nah, Chick-fil-A ain't paying you like that. They paying no damn $1,600 rent. So that's why they always on social media. They can fake it, but in real life they struggling. So just be aware of that. But yeah, the dude is tripping. He left that job just because he was mad because they're not paying him $500,000 a year. He tripping.
You gotta have multiple sources of income. So that's why my generation, a lot of us have multiple sources of income and side hustles because everything is so expensive nowadays.
Yeah.
So.
And Joseph, are you taking a chance by walking away from that job and starting fresh, or you feel like you can do it?
Ask the question one more time.
You said you left a 6-figure job to start in real estate. Were you ever hesitant about stepping out on faith like that?
Before I did it, oh man, I'm one of those people I get emotional. Before, so it was about a 6-month process. So of course, you got to get the licensure and everything like that. But before, I was kind of in a place where it's like, okay, I'm gonna try and stay at this job for as long as I can. But then when I really started the real estate, I was like, realistically, this is a 40-hour per week job. Honestly, it's 50, 60. I mean, you have to know
hours, yeah.
It is. You have to know your community. You have to network. Yep. And what my company wanted me to do for them, I'm not going to do that. To me, I'm 27. I don't want to be 50, 60 and look back and be like, I didn't put my money on me. I'm the racehorse on this track. I'm gonna invest in myself. Everything that they would talk about, like the financials, Q1, Q2, Q3. You're only paying me this salary, but you're talking about billions of dollars. I'm not for that campaign. I've learned what I needed to inside that corporate job. Let me apply this to myself and toward.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like I said, and I talk to guys that's financial lawyers and accountants all the time, and with the lawyers, the part that they obviously they working for a company, but the part that that upsets them is when they're getting these multi-million-dollar deals approved. I'm talking about 20, 50, 60, $100 million deals approved, and they're only making $125,000 a year. So again, in his case, he's not making nowhere near 150. He making that's a lot of money, but still they pay him 112, something like that, 120. You know what I mean? Like I told you guys before. But yeah, again, when they tell me that, I'm like, bro, you getting this stuff approved, and of course they need you because they don't know they don't know, you know, how to really just what to look out for as far as those contracts. That's why they hired a lawyer, because the lawyer know how to make sure them contracts are legit. So when you closing $100 million deal and you don't get a piece of that, that will upset you, because like, okay, well, if I wasn't here, this wouldn't have worked in your favor. If anything, they would, you know, they would have had some crooked lawyer, and he would have, you know what I mean, he would have screwed them over and had them sign the contract. Because once you sign the contract, it's a wrap. And if you try to avoid the contract, then they're gonna sue you, and you're gonna lose a lot of money. So the way I look at it is like, if you're gonna do that, it's not best for you to be a employee. It's best for you to be a contractor. So, I mean, what they call the advisor. So if you want a percentage off the deal, you can't be an employee, because no company's gonna do that for you. So with that being said, if you're in that field of work, you need to make sure you're getting paid a lot of money. So if they go in there, oh yeah, we'll give you 125, and you just make sure everything is good with these contracts. If that's the case, you need to be like, okay, I know what kind of money this company be dealing with, and the deals. I need a pay increase. So instead of you talking about 125, I need 350, because I know you easily pay that, but no problem, because you slamming 80, 300, $500 million deals, you can pay that. You can pay that. So as far as you being in that field of work, you need to do that, especially at the beginning. You get in there, you show them, okay, I know what the hell I'm doing. They don't give a shit, because they not. That's why I tell you all the time, when someone's paying you, and then if you charge a cheap service, they're not gonna respect you. They just, okay, whatever, man, take the money, shut up. So if anything, that first year, okay, boom, I'm closing the deals, everything is working out. I'm showing them I know what the hell I'm doing. They can trust me and whatever. That following year, say, hey, I need a pay increase, and all these deals I've been closing, just multiple millions of dollars, hundreds of millions, tens of millions of dollars, whatever. I need 350. I guarantee you, if they gave him 350, he wouldn't have been on that panel. I guarantee you. But the fact that he's seen those contracts that he was closing, and it's like, well, damn, what they paying me is nothing. That's nothing, and it is. That's what these lawyers be telling me. It's like, the money they paying me is like, it's nothing. Like, so I'm like, well, okay, well, since it's nothing, you need to go back and say, hey, I need 350 or more. But me personally, if that was me, I'd go in there. Because whatever you knew, whatever they say, you got to play a role. That first year, I'll take care of that first year. Establish my position at the company. All right, boom. He know what he's talking about. He do great, whatever. That following year, hey man, I need a pay increase. I need 350. So can't say you don't have it, because all the deals I've been closing for you last year, is this the base off what you paying me is nothing. So I need 350. Now if he were to do that, the worst thing they can say is no, he can go find another job, whatever like that. But you gotta understand where you're coming from. Now I don't agree that he quit. That was a stupid idea, but I do understand what he's doing. He wants to be his own boss, because of course, when you're your own boss, you make your own money. You don't have a cap on how much you can make. So I understand that, but it's just you just don't do that. I mean, you gotta. He should have just got his real estate license, and then worked on the weekend or worked after he got off. And then as he started to grow it, then he can go ahead, if he really want to quit, then he can go quit. So he just went about it the wrong way. But at the end of the day, I hope it worked out for him. But yeah, I wouldn't have did that. I would have started the business on the side. I would have grew it, because that's not going to happen in a couple weeks. It's going to take a year plus for you to start seeing traction, really the second year, depending on what you're doing, before you start seeing traction. But it is what it is.
It's my brand, which I have, and I'm still doing. So a lot to what you were saying too, which is a big point. You do have to do the work. Realistically, I know in this first year to 2 years, it's not going to be easy. But with that, and we're talking about social media, people are not going to really talk about the struggle that everyone goes through. Like what she was saying, it's real easy for people to, how you're there, like how you went through that struggle, and you're like real quick to say, like, people are not, how you're already at that stage. So it's real quick to be like, I'm not saying you're doing this. Your journey is not necessarily the same. You're not even putting in the work. I'm at that infancy. Does that make sense? That girl right there that was on that stage, even though or on that video, even though I hate the audio, she's in her infancy, you know, like she's worried about Coachella. One thing that Kashawn asked whenever he asked me to come on the show was, do you feel that you look up to people on social media? A lot of people are looking for that gratification and, you know, like that source, but I do not. To me, I want to be the person that inspires, but also, too, whenever I have my kids and my family, I want someone that they look up to. I just don't want to pass down a name. I want to pass down a legacy.
Jasmine also. So your thoughts for those who may feel trapped financially, what would you tell them to get the strength to move away from that dead-end job if they're in it?
First, I would look at who's around you. Who is your support system? Do you have support? If you don't, you need to analyze your friends, your circle, and your family members to see who's working and what's not. You know. Then after that, get your money together. I highly recommend, if they don't have a financial advisor, get one as soon as possible. If you have a bank account and you're getting a check and you're getting direct deposits, you definitely have a financial advisor available to you for free at your local bank. So I recommend go do that. Set your portfolio up. Get a budget. A budget for sure.
All right.
Have a savings and
a lot of people got to figure out what they're trying because they don't know about no portfolio.
Oh Lord Jesus!
Come on now, you got to start from.
Get your money up. Get your money up.
Yeah, that was I like those you know, I mean, it helps if everybody has their own opinion, right? But you know, I'm gonna say this right now: if you clearing, you know, you gotta pay taxes. If you clearing $1,000 a week, you're okay. But as a single individual, you want to make, I want to say 15, and it's gonna hurt a lot of ears. But as far as all the stuff I've been going through, I'm like, if I make $1,500 a week consistently, you good, because that's $6,000 a month. You can do some stuff. Of course, your credit also. You know, I know a lot of people don't care about their credit, but you know, if you got, work on your credit, build your credit up, and that's gonna help a lot. Because when you go get that car, when you go get, whatever, your credit is gonna help you out on top of that. So credit is a cheat code for adults. If you want a cheat code in life, don't scam, don't commit no crimes. Just get your credit up. That's a cheat code. So if you're making $1,500 a week, you do pretty good. Now, if you want to stay in one of them, I'm not saying you shouldn't, but if I can stay somewhere that's decent or that's good and it's not my whole paycheck, then I'm gonna do that. But that's coming from a guy. I know women, they're not good with finances, so they want to. If they're making $1,500 a week, they want to stay in a $4,000 apartment, and there's a lot of them do that. They're making $600 a week, and they stay in a damn $2,000 a month apartment. It's like the hell, but a lot of females are doing that. So, but if you're making 15, the goal is to make 15. Whatever you're making at work, I'm gonna say this too: you're working at fast food or some janky ass job, go find you another job. I'm not saying quit cold turkey, but start looking for a better job, because there's a whole lot of jobs out there that'll pay you more. Because you cannot, as an adult, you should not be making $600, $700 a month. A week. You shouldn't be making that. You need to be automatically $1,000 after taxes, but realistically, you need to be making 15. If you're making 15, whether you work your full-time job, you selling, you selling puppets or something like that. On eBay or something like that. Do that to make up the difference. But the thing about this is this is teaching us how to learn. It's teaching us how to make more money. It's teaching us how to be self-efficient. So there's nothing wrong with having multiple streams of income. With any millionaire you ask, they all have multiple streams of income. So look at it like that. You're not taking the typical day you get off work, you just sit on the couch all day. Now you have to be active still. And it's only going to benefit you, not only today or in the long run. It's going to benefit you in general, because now you're understanding the business side or whatever you get into. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, me personally, if you're making $1,200 to $1,500 a week, you're gonna be doing good. That's $6,000 a month. So anyway, if you guys enjoyed the video, let me know what you think down below. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and if you can donate something to my Cash App, I really appreciate you. And yeah, until next time.